Germany has two mandatory insurances: car liability insurance if you have a car, obviously, and health insurance, either public or private. Other insurances are voluntary, but super important to get. And the most important one that is voluntary, but everyone should have it, is the private liability insurance. But why is it important? What does it cost? And what are some tips? Stay tuned to get all the answers before you make any big mistake when getting your private liability insurance.
PerFinEx. Personal Finance for Expats.
What's up everyone? Welcome to a new video from PerFinEx, the #1 English-speaking and independent financial planner in Germany. Today, with another PerFinExplains on the most important voluntary insurance in Germany, the private liability insurance. Usually, I say a lot of "it depends." But today, there's a definitive yes if you ask me whether you should get a private liability insurance or not. But
why is a private liability insurance important?
a private liability insurance serves two basic functions. By German law, you have to pay for any damages that you cause to third parties. And these could be property damages, personal damages, or financial damage. If you drop a glass of a friend of yours at a dinner and it breaks, you have to replace his property. Now, that's not that much money, right? If you lose the keys to your apartment and your landlord has to replace the locks of the whole house, that can become pretty expensive pretty quickly. The real issue though, and that's the reason everyone should have the private liability insurance, are personal damages. Imagine you walk across the street looking hypnotized at your phone and don't see the traffic light turning red. A bicycle driver has to swerve in order to not run you over and crashes with a car. Ouchie! Now, it's your fault that the accident happened, so you have to pay the bill. By the way, if the accident wasn't your fault, your private liability insurance will fight against unfounded claims against you. So it's kind of a passive legal defense insurance. That's the second basic function of a private liability insurance. Luckily, you were watching this video, heard my words, acted on them, and got a private liability insurance. Lucky you! Because the bill of this damage is a big one. Let's summarize. We got property damage because the bicycle is broken and the car has some scratches. We got personal damage because the bicycle driver flew over the car, so you have to pay for his treatment, doctors, hospitals, and if he's bound to a wheelchair and can't work anymore, you have to pay for that as well. Please remember that a private liability insurance only protects you against third-party claims. So if you have a personal damage from this accident, you should get a disability income insurance to protect yourself. And we got financial damage because the person driving the car is a real estate agent and missed an important appointment. Just once, not paying attention properly can easily cause damage worth billions. And your liability by law is unlimited, meaning either you spend millions of your hard-earned money or you get a private liability insurance. But if an insurance company is willing to pay that much money,
how much does a private liability insurance cost?
well, what do you think a private liability insurance costs if it's protecting you against unlimited claims? Surprise! It shouldn't cost more than €80 per year.
Wow!
You can also get it for less than that, but I personally wouldn't be a penny pincher here and sacrifice quality for a couple of euros per month. But we'll come to the tips in a minute. If you want to save on the insurance premium, get a private liability insurance with a deductible. A deductible of €150, for example, will decrease your premium, but then you have to pay €150 every time someone makes a claim against you. So if you are a little clumsy, a deductible is probably not a good idea, because the €150 you have to pay every single time will cost you more than the private liability insurance with €0 deductible. Personal preference. There's no right or wrong. Also, If you move in with your partner, you can cancel one private liability insurance. As long as you live under the same address, you only need one. No need to be married here. Saves you some money, but then your partner is not a third party anymore. So if you spill coffee over his or her laptop, your private liability insurance won't pay for it. And that's just one of many
tips for your private liability insurance.
Choose a coverage sum of at least 50 million euro. The difference in premium between a 10 million private liability insurance and the 50 million private liability insurance is just a couple of euros per month. I know 50 million sounds like a lot of money, but that's what the insurance is for, right? A private liability insurance is supposed to protect you against existential risks. Speaking about existential risks, make sure to choose a private liability insurance with coverage for loss of receivables. If someone damages your property, person or finances, he has to pay for it. But if he doesn't have a private liability insurance and no savings, what you gonna do? Of course he's in big trouble, but you can sue him for money if he doesn't have anything. A private liability insurance with Forderungsausfalldeckung in German will pay for your damages if the third party can't pay. If you have a pet, it might be included in your private liability insurance. A hamster, a rabbit or a cat are usually included. Dogs are definitely not included and require a separate dog liability insurance, like horses. So basically everything larger than a cat needs a separate liability insurance. By the way, you don't have to pay legally for third-party damages when you help your friends moving and drop their flat screen, for example. That's an unpaid friendship service and you have no legal liability here. But if you want to keep your friends, you might want to get a private liability insurance with coverage for courtesy damage. Gefälligkeitsschäden in German. Little children also don't have to pay for damages they cause until 7 years of age and until 10 years of age in traffic. So if you teach your child how to ride a bicycle and it drives into the Porsche of your neighbor, you complied with your supervision duty and therefore have no legal obligation to pay for that Porsche. But, same argument as before with your friends, if you want a peaceful neighborhood, get a private liability insurance with coverage for deliktunfähige Kinder, basically small children that cannot be held accountable for their damages. For the last two tips, you also want to include compensation for new value. Otherwise, a private liability insurance will only replace whatever you damaged with its time value. And the time value of an old, used, whatever, can be a lot less than the new purchase price. If you have too many damages, your private liability insurance company can cancel your contract. Yes, they can do that. You can also do that if you didn't like the way the insurance company handled your claim, for example. Both parties have the legal right to cancel the contract after a claim has been settled. But if the insurance company cancels, reach out to them and cancel yourself. This is really important. Do not let them kick you out. Because every new private liability insurance company wants to know if you had a private liability insurance before and who canceled the contract. And if you have to tell them that your old insurance company kicked you out, there will be a lot of unpleasant questions. Believe you me. And when you search for a new private liability insurance, make sure to choose one that offers a market guarantee. That means your insurance company must settle your damage like the best insurance company in Germany would. This basically guarantees you will always have the best possible protection in Germany. Renew your private liability insurance every once in a while. 2 reasons. First, usually coverage increases year over year. A lot of private liability insurances include drones now. And second, despite increasing coverage, the price drops over time. Awesome, right? More coverage for less price. If you don't want to make any mistake with your private liability insurance and you don't want to check constantly if yours is still good, feel free to reach out to us. That's what we do for our clients. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos on personal finance in Germany. See you in the next video. Take care.